What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. Yeah, this is why we can't have nice things. I know. I was looking forward to it too. Hey, maybe it'll be good. Best interpretation, because that's worked out well. Well, actually, it hasn't worked out. Either way, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, to introduce long-lost tribe of female warriors led by Helm Hammerhand's daughter. All right, that's fine, and I'm sure Eowyn will be used as an example here. The point is, why would you go in and take someone that doesn't exist? It's not in the letters, but let's get to it. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, writer Philippa Boyens confirmed that the unnamed daughter of Helm would be the main protagonist of the film. She said, "When they suggested anime, that's when my brain really started whirring. I think she means whirling. Immediately, the idea of telling this story came to me. They had a number of different ones they were going to pitch to me, but I was quite bossy. And I was like, no, I know exactly what this needs." She continued, "I immediately felt that it would work for anime because it's so character-based and also contained within its own world. It speaks to certain things that work really well with Japanese storytelling." Speaking specifically to Helm's unnamed daughter, she said, "In the appendices where the story is drawn from, we get these quite interestingly drawn male characters, and then we get this young female character who is never named." And that was really interesting to me. We know Helm had a daughter, and we know that she was central to the conflict that happened, but myself and especially screenwriter Phoebe Gittins were drawn to her, she said. "We could feel the weight of being that unnamed daughter, which immediately piqued our interest. Who was she? How did she live?" Not only is Helm's unnamed daughter, which is the film, has named Hera, the main protagonist of the film, but according to Drew Taylor at The Wrap, she is able to ride horses and communes with the great eagles. Okay. Furthermore, she calls on the power of a seemingly lost tribe of female warriors to drive out the Dunladines from Rohan. Jonathan Watson at the One Ring, which, by the way, I read a bit of this. The fact that the One Ring is saying this, because that was supposed to be the shill site. So the fact that they're not even going along with this is something. But reacted to the information, I went through the people of Middle Earth. I went through the letters of J.R.R. Tolkien. The peoples of Middle Earth. It has the notes of the House of Errol. By the way, I should point out, because some of these names, I've not read the books or Silmarillion. I've only watched the extended cut edition of, in fact, just recently in the movies, and then many time on DVD digital. So I've only watched the movies and the Hobbit movies and all that. Disavow Rings of Power for obvious reasons. But so if I pronounce something wrong, it's just because, not had it drilled into me. Which is part of the appendices in the Return of the King. The notes that Tolkien wrote, that Christopher Tolkien, his son, put through the ringer to give us guidance and information on Rohan, was envisioned, and how the House of Errol was envisioned in the Return of the King. He continued, and then I also went through this here, which is the J.R.R. Tolkien Companion Guide and Reader's Guide. It has pretty much everything you could want when it comes to researching characters, people, places in Middle Earth. The most complete resources you can get. Shield Maiden is never. There is no Shield Maidens anywhere in this. He added, "Here's the thing. People are tired of the girl boss thing becoming the only way to tell a story. The only way to tell an action story is to drive these girl bosses right to the front, smother us with the things we don't believe, and change the story that Tolkien wrote. It's boring. It's predictable." Where have we heard this before?
Because we're boring! We're so fucking boring! Current dayers!
So, it's boring, it's predictable, and it's not even as good as anything he wrote. Based on the reporting by Slash Film, it appears that Boyens and Warner Brothers are going to try and get around this by having Miranda Otto's Eowyn narrate. Don't look for her in the ancient accounts, for there are none. As noted by Boyens, Helm's daughter is unnamed in the appendix, and while the rejection of a marriage offer between her and Wolf is central to the short story, she as a character is not. This is what Tolkien wrote of her. To one of these councils, Freka rode with many men, and he asked the hand of Helm's daughter for his son Wolf. Instead, the central characters of the story are Helm Hammerhand, a man; Wolf, a man; Helm's sons, Haleth and Hama, men, and Helm's nephew, Freyalof Hiddleston. So men, all men. And so, no, we can't have that. So they took the unnamed daughter and made the whole thing revolve around her. Very 2024. In Tolkien's story, the invasion of Rohan is preceded by a confrontation between Helm Hammerhand and Freka. Freka asks for Helm's daughter in marriage to his son Wolf. Hammerhand rejects it and calls him fat. That's funny. Freka responds by saying, "Old kings that refuse a proffered staff may fall on their knees." The two then participate in a king's council. However, after it is concluded, Hammerhand confronts Freka, rebukes him for his words of rebellion, and kills him with a single punch. He then declares Freka's son Wolf and his men enemies to the king 4 years after his confrontation when Rohan is invaded by Dunlendines led by Wolf. They were joined by the enemies of Gondor that landed in the mouths of Lefnui and Isen, or Isen. I'm assuming that's before Isengard. Rohan loses to the forces of the Dunlendines and their allies, led by Wolf in a battle at the crossings of Isen. After being defeated, Helm Hammerhand flees to the safety of the Hornburg, where the invading forces set up a siege. I mean, it sounds like it could be a dope fight if you focus on the actual things that happen. The invading forces also split with Wolf, leading to a portion of the army to Edoras to take the city. Tolkien wrote, Wolf took Edoras and sat in the Meduseld and called himself king. There, Halahath Helm's son fell, last of all defending the doors. Hold the door! Meanwhile, at the Hornburg, a long winter sets in and Rohan is covered in snow for 5 months. Both forces suffer from the cold and lack provisions. In an attempt to acquire provisions and against his father's counsel, Hama leads sortie but does not return, and we're lost in the snow. So it sounds like some big old fights and none of this, not one mention of the daughter that is unnamed for a reason that they're naming Hera. And yeah, I'm not going to read any more of that because why spoil? I mean, we'll still watch it. But yeah, what do you make of the confirmation that the unnamed daughter of Helm Hammerhand will be the main protagonist? Well, I make of it, there she is. If you do it right, we won't care and it'll be great and she'll be treated just like Eowyn. But if you do it with modern politics, insufferable, where you make her very unlikable, then no, it'll be just another project succumbed, taken, and for some reason,
you can't keep getting away with it.
But they all do. They all keep getting away with it. Anyway, let me know what you think of this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. Are you going to be doing this? Are you going to be watching this? I don't know. Anyway, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.